warm welcome to Wesley Impact. I'm so glad that you could join us. Later on, I'm going to be thinking about the Advent theme of Watch. Let's take a look also later in the programme at Wesley Mission's work in supporting those with drug and alcohol addiction through Wesley Hospitals in Sydney. And we welcome another Christian medical outreach, but this one's based at sea. A newly commissioned YWAM medical and training ship has just docked in Sydney Harbour in preparation for its 2015 voyage. Anna Scott has joined me to talk to me about that work and the year ahead. Anna, it's lovely to have you. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to Sydney. Welcome to land, as it were.
Thank
after
you.
your years. Tell us a bit about Youth with a Mission, YWAM ships, and how it all began.
Yeah, so YWAM's been operating ships around the world for many years, but the ship that we operate is in Papua New Guinea. So we started 5 years ago, actually. We were actually given a ship from YWAM in New Zealand, the Pacific Link. So it's a 35-year-old fishing vessel that was converted into a medical ship. So we've been operating that for the last 5 years in PNG, but basically when we started, we were considering where to go, and we really felt Papua New Guinea highlighted to us. It has the worst health status in the entire Pacific. One of the most difficult places to deliver aid in the world. So we went up to PNG and we met with the Secretary for Health, and we said, we've got this ship, would you like us to come? Where would you like us to go? And he asked us to focus on the Gulf and Western provinces, that some of the most remote locations in the world, and have some of the worst health status in the country as well. So we started going to the Gulf and Western provinces to start with. But the needs were so great, and we knew that we needed another ship.
So what do you do? What sort of medical things do you do? When you say medical, what does that mean?
Yeah, so we do primary health care, so child health, maternal health, treating communicable diseases like malaria, and then also dentistry, optometry and ophthalmology, so cataract and pterygium surgeries. But with this ship, we'll be able to increase that more. So we'll have a lab on board this new ship that we're about to launch.
So you can do blood testing and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. And we also focus a lot on training. So we like to work with those that are working on the ground, provide training for rural health workers, for the population in general as well. So we have a really strong focus on and training those that are working there long term to capacity build and to increase what they do.
So you've docked here at Sydney till 4:30. So you're on the beach, are you, most days then at the moment?
I wish, no. No, we're docked at White Bay in Sydney at the moment. So we've been here for a few weeks now. We've got a few weeks left to go. And basically, we've been on a public awareness tour since July. So we've been touring along the East Coast, raising awareness about our work and the needs in Papua New Guinea, recruiting volunteers and raising funds. So our focus in Sydney is securing all the equipment and supplies for the refit of the ship. We plan to refit the ship as a medical ship early next year. So we're meeting with a number of companies while we're here. I
assume also that you're looking for new recruits of different kinds. Yep. What sort of recruits do you look for, and what can people do?
Medical professionals and marine professionals, and then also general volunteers. So doctors, nurses, midwives, optometrists, ophthalmologists, dentists, dental assistants, marine crew, and then also just people that are willing to help and serve wherever. We've got lots of positions for people that don't have a medical or marine background as well. So on this tour alone, we've been able to have over 1,000 people indicate interest in volunteering, which has been excellent. But our volunteering needs are a lot greater with this ship, because we will be increasing by quite a lot. So
it's going to increase, this new ship is going to increase your activities by how much?
500% is what we estimate.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. So somebody's eating their cornflakes now, they're a dental assistant, and they say, I haven't got a lot of time, but I could give a couple of weeks. That would be helpful, would it?
Absolutely. So you can come for as little as 2.5 weeks with us to PNG. And basically what happens is you fly to Port Moresby, we sail out to villages, and we're there for 2 weeks. We sail back, and then you fly home. You can stay longer if you like, but usually 2.5 weeks fits in really well with people's leave. So we're always looking for new people to join us over there.
And I'm going to talk about the Christian heart of this ministry in just a moment. So before I talk more about YWAM ships, I'd like to introduce today's performer. Ryan Day is an Australian worship leader and songwriter based in Sydney's Sutherland Shire. He's written a song especially for the upcoming Christmas season and in this season of Advent. I hope you enjoy Heaven's Son.
Is this child, bringer of light, born in a stable on this night, heralding choirs of angels sing, worship the newborn King. For unto us a son is given, unto us a child is born, and he will Heaven's Son. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Prince of Peace, Everlasting Father.
Be inspired by Keith Garner's new book, The Authentic Australian Evangelist, Alan Walker. Former Superintendent Alan Walker was once labelled the conscience of the nation, speaking out for the marginalised and the broken across social, political and international debate. Alan's life and work at Wesley Mission is also featured in an address by Keith Garner on DVD. For more information, call 1800 021 821 or visit our website wesleymission.org.au.
Now, if you want to know more about Ryan Day, details are going to be featured on our Wesley Mission website this week, as well as the whole of this programme. Anna, give us some perspective. It's great to talk to you. I have opportunity to ask this. Some perspective of the size of the work and what it is that you do.
So we have been operating medical ships for the last 5 years over in Papua New Guinea. So the ship that we're about to launch is about 4 times the size of our other ship. So we'll be able to do a lot more with this ship. So we plan to build a dentistry clinic, an operating theatre and a lab on board the ship, as well as an outpatient facility. And then in addition to that, we'll have smaller boats that will be launched from the ship to access remote locations. So this ship will operate as a mothership, so to speak. So that's why we estimate that we'll be able to increase by over 500%.
Yeah, it's a great percentage.
Yeah.
What would be the greatest service or need that you address when you're going around, more than anything else?
It's hard to say. There's so many needs in PNG. A lot of people don't realise it's our closest international neighbour. But, you know, 5 women die in childbirth every day, and 1 in 13 children die before their 5th birthday. Someone dies from TB every 2 hours.
So you do health education as well when you're there, that when you gather mums together and talk to them about prenatal and postnatal, things that they can do for better health and things like that.
Yes, we focus a lot on maternal health, but then also really simple things like oral hygiene is a big one. Dental services are very limited in PNG. There's just 1 dentist for every 100,000 people, which is just amazing to think about, and most of those dentists are in urban centres, not in the rural areas that we're going to. So we find that that's probably one of the biggest needs that we see.
If you had some highlights of your own ministry and work with this Christian aid, what would you say?
Probably one of my favourite highlights was a patient that we met last year. Her name was Makasi, and she was actually born with cataracts, so her eyesight continued to worsen throughout her life, and eventually she went blind when she was 17. So she was housebound. She had 3 kids she'd never seen before. Her husband took care of them and did the cooking, the cleaning, everything that needed to be done. And they heard about the ship being near them, and they actually decided that they would travel to the ship, and it took them 2 weeks to reach us in their canoe. And when she arrived, our ophthalmologist was able to assess her eyes, and he found that she was a perfect candidate for surgery. So he removed the cataracts, and when she had the patches removed, she was able to see her 3 children for the very first time. And she was only 27, so she had her eyesight completely restored, perfect 20/20 vision, and was able to return back to her village with restored eyesight. So that's, I think, probably one of my favourite stories of people that's been impacted by someone that, you know, chose to go and reach this community. So it was a really special story.
Must have been like almost being with Jesus, seeing somebody see for the first time. It must have been.
It was amazing. Yeah, her whole demeanour changed. She was, you know, she'd look down at the floor, incredibly downcast, and, you know, a week later, just seeing that transformation, she was confident, she was alive. It was just incredible to be a part of that.
So you're leaving here. Tell us about the year ahead.
So, as I've said, we're still in the process of launching this new ship, so we plan to refit the ship next year, all going well, and then take it to Papua New Guinea for the first time. So we'll be sort of back and forth between doing the refit and then going to PNG. Our sort of campaign for the last few months has been overcoming the impossible, and we've...
That's what your badge is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So we've overcome a lot of things this year, but still got some challenges ahead, and certainly next year will be a lot of more of that as well. So launching this new ship in PNG will be a big focus for 2015.
And with God, all things are possible. That's
right.
It's a great mandate to really... So in the message of Advent and Christmas, if you had a few sentences, what does it mean to you, and what do you think we can say to people who really have never met Christmas before?
Christmas is an amazing time to reflect, I think, on, you know, it's when we come to the end of a year to reflect on all that's happened, and I think it's really a time to be grateful, to remember what you have, to remember, you know, what's happened in the year that's been and what's ahead. I think it's an amazing time to be grateful and thankful. So I think that's a special part of what Christmas is to me, is reflecting on gratefulness.
We're going to be back in just a moment, but I want to say I hope that the year ahead is successful. I hope you pick up lots of volunteers from Sydney.
Thank you.
and real encouragement around the country as you travel around. There's lots of people sharing this story. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's been 200 years since the first Methodists met in Australia. To celebrate 2 centuries of faith and pioneering care, CEO and presenter Rev Dr Keith Garner takes us back to where it all began.
But we don't begin here at the heart of London. We begin in a town in the north of England.
In this fascinating narrative, Rev Garner chronicles the history of the life and times of the founder of Methodism, John Wesley. This fresh and thought-provoking documentary takes us on a journey throughout the United Kingdom, beginning in John Wesley's hometown of Epworth.
John Wesley was born here on the 17th of June, 1703.
This 1 hour DVD travels onto his education years and beginnings of social justice in Oxford, to his final years in London. For more information on John Wesley, the man and his mission, call 02 9263 5555 or email us at impacttv@wesleymission.org.au.
Wesley Mission has delivered high-quality healthcare to people in need for more than half a century. Wesley Mission has 2 hospitals in Sydney which help people with special needs. This next story highlights our work with helping people overcome drug and alcohol addiction. Let's take a look together at Peter's story.
I was 43 when I decided that I wanted help, but it wasn't until got into the program here at Wesley, and it really took off. It really became a problem when I was about 23. Once I made the decision, I would drink from morning till night. If possible, I would take holidays to do that. Then there would be periods of where that wouldn't happen. It would just be drinking from afternoon till morning and repeating the process every day. I couldn't go to work. I would keep a bottle of booze beside my bed like a bottle of water. I would just wake up, take a drink, have a smoke, pass out. I had a special connection with this horse. I had him since he was a foal while he was still on his mother, and we had a special bond developing. It was that special that I could ride him totally blindfolded. He was a stallion, and through my drinking, I didn't put him away one night, and one of my mares came into season, and he jumped the fence, tore a big hole in his stomach, and he died. And I felt it necessary to cover that up. My experience here has been one of growth. It has allowed me to be myself. Life is so fantastic now. I'm becoming a AIN, like an assistant in nursing.
Hi Sam.
Hi Karen.
I have Peter with me today who's doing training. Would you mind if I explain the blood pressure procedure?
Sure.
That's
fine,
okay?
yeah.
I feel I've got something to offer. Give people some hope and let them know that there's a choice, that they can make choices now, and life doesn't need to be like it was for me in addiction, and it doesn't need to be like that for them as well.
Pete's incredible. His personal growth has been huge to watch, and his story is full of hope.
He's living proof that, miracles do happen. It just starts with the 21 to 28 day program here. That's just the start. The real recovery is in our aftercare, and I think that's where, we're quite different in what we offer. It's a real miracle to see people get well.
This is a journey that you don't want to miss. It's a fantastic journey, like the journey of recovery, being in recovery. I recommend it.
So we enter the great season of Advent. This is the beginning of the Christian year. We light the first of these candles, 4 purple candles that we light as we journey through Advent. Purple, a royal colour, the colour of the season, and at the very centre, a large white candle, which we know as the King, which we light on Christmas Day. But Advent isn't Christmas. It's a very long and practiced tradition. It has within it some of the strongest themes of the Christian faith, going back hundreds and hundreds of years. And I want to read to you, if I can, from Mark's Gospel, chapter 13, verses 32 through to 37. But about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know what time will come. It's like a man going away. He leaves his house and puts his servants in charge, each with their assigned task, and tells the one at the door to keep watch. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening or at midnight, or when the rooster crows or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. Now, the entire 13th chapter of Mark contains a special kind of material which is often called eschatological. That is to do with end times, when everything's gathered together at the end. And the key word in this particular passage, and a key word for the whole season of Advent, is summed up in that word, watch. Many of us are familiar with the concept of neighbourhood watch. A community is organised to watch out for suspicious-looking people and cars and actions and report such people and events. Such a programme heightens the vigilance of everyone in a neighbourhood. And one of the things it does, and it's intended to do, is to make would-be thieves very uncomfortable at entering such an area because they are being watched. Christians are called at all times to be a people on the watch. Now, we can apply this in a number of ways. We must be alert and looking for opportunities to tell the story of the good news, to offer care, as we've heard in the story of Waiwan's ships. We must watch for moments of challenge, whatever those moments are in our lives. We must watch and be ready for the coming of Jesus Christ, a great Advent theme. We even talk about the second Advent, the final coming of Jesus Christ, being ready. We don't know when it will be. And one of the perennial questions that people are prone to ask is, what time is it? People ask that in the street. Children are always asking it. In New Testament times, there was a special word for a certain kind of time, and that was kairos. This is time that is special time. It's referred to time as a special event. We live through days when people zero in on chronological time. As we get older, we recognise how time flies. And of course it does, because as we get older, a year is a shorter time within the totality of our lives. And so it's not actually just a feeling that we have when time is going faster, because in point of fact it is. But there will be a time when Jesus Christ will gather all of us together, and all the events of his story and all the events of history will come together at a final coming. And when we remember the story of our Bible from beginning to end, we know of the God who created everything, who spoke through prophets of one who would come. And then the one who came gave us a new beginning and said to his people one day, after he died and after he'd been raised from the dead, he ascended. He said, one day I will return. Now, we don't know when that will be, but I know for sure that one of the things we can, must, and certainly can do in our own lives is watch, be ready, look out, be on the lookout in a very real sense. And when you're watching, you're certainly a very different kind of people. So as we light those candles, as we journey through Advent, let's be a people who are at and on the watch.
If you would like to know more about today's topic, or for more on Keith's message, contact Keith by writing to Wesley Mission, Post Office Box A5555, Sydney South 1235, or email impacttv@wesleymission.org.au.
On the show, I always have my goodbyes, and the most important goodbye is not only to those who've taken part in the show, but for those of you joining us. We're delighted you're with us. Don't forget to log on to our website. I leave you with Shanti Batsky singing, Mary, Did You Know? Until next week, goodbye, and may God bless us all through Advent.
Your baby boy would one day walk on water. Did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you've delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby